Tenants at Richmond's Southwood apartments say their landlord is ignoring repairs. Very frustrating for them.
Yes, it has to be. Capitol Bureau reporter Jackie DeFusco found out why Governor Youngkin is rejecting legislation that advocates say could help these folks out.
You can see the cockroaches just kind of scrambling.
Cockroaches crawling under a broken stove. Rats sneaking bites of fruit.
Those are the holes where the rats come in through.
Tenant Marcella Gitumul turning to this wad of tape to keep them out, a failed temporary fix. She says it's been an issue since she moved in here 5 years ago, but despite regular calls to maintenance, she says no results. New Virginia majority immigrant justice organizer Sofia Vega translating.
She's exhausted of having to constantly go and ask maintenance to help fix the issue, and then them just telling her that they don't have the staff or that they're too busy or that they'll check in later and then they never do.
Just down the street, Mother Cindy Cabrera fears her microwave will catch fire. She says her toilet won't flush without a mess.
Everything will come out from where that black duct tape is.
The wait for a fix, she says, more than 2 months. Meantime, she says she's paying for other repairs out of pocket. Vega says advocates have heard hundreds of similar stories from tenants at Southwood Apartments, Richmond's largest Latino neighborhood, here rallying for action in November of last year.
I think it's the reason they go out and fight every day for better repairs, because obviously, as a mother or a father, you don't want your child to live in conditions like these.
In that fight, another setback as Governor Youngkin shoots down a bipartisan bill that advocates say would be a big help. In his veto explanation, saying, quote, "This legislation contains unnecessary and duplicative provisions already established under the Virginia Uniform Statewide Building Code that provide effective powers to localities to enforce violations."
The justification that was given for the veto is not factually accurate.
Bill sponsor Delegate Marcia Price says currently localities have the power to condemn properties, which she says risks worsening the affordable housing shortage. Alternatively, they can sue for a fine. Price says that presents a problem too, because the money doesn't go back to tenants and it often doesn't cover the full cost of fixes. She says this bill would make a difference because it would empower localities to force repairs and would allow them to take action against an entire apartment complex.
But this is really about the landlord having to live up to their side of a contract, and that's just what's not happening.
The landlord declining our interview request, but referring us to these residents who say they're pleased with the living conditions at Southwood.
When I request repairs, they're done almost instantly.
The place is being changed since it used to be before. So I think this is a great place to live.
A spokesperson for Southwood says they've recently increased maintenance staff by 50%, with 15 now working full-time. After completing assessments of all 1,300 units last week, they expect to wrap up more than 100 remaining significant repairs by the end of May. But the tenants we spoke to fear the fixes will be Band-Aid solutions to long-standing problems.
These are horrendous living conditions, and nobody who pays rent deserves to be living in a situation like this.
The city of Richmond has not gotten back to me yet as to whether Southwood Apartments has any active complaints right now. As for that legislation, the General Assembly may be able to override the governor's veto in a session set for April 27th. Reporting in Richmond, I'm Jackie DeFusco.